What's up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and today we are bringing you more answers to your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
So this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question about Warhammer 40K, about us, about your life, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those first. It's just easier. It's easier for us to filter through the questions if you do that. But anyways,
we've got a special question today. This one is by Josh Eckroth.
What up, Josh?
Yo, it's been a minute.
I know.
I plan on building a swarm/horde army in 8th edition.
Fun.
The question is, which army do you think will be stronger with the new rules? The Tyranids or the Orks?
You're asking the wrong question, my friend. Your question should be, which race will be easier to paint a swarm of? And the answer is Orks, because Orks are unique. You can customize them into multiple ways.
Yeah, if you're going to paint a whole bunch of Termagants and Hormagaunts, you're painting the same model like 6-7 times.
You'll hate yourself, and then you'll commit suicide. But let's get to your real question. So who's going to be better in 8th edition? I have a strong feeling and hope that the Orks are going to be better. Because the Orks have more abilities with shooting and close combat. Whereas with Tyranids, oh, actually no, never mind, because Tyranids have the, what's that, the two-handed gun?
Oh, Venom cannon? No, it's not a Venom cannon. It is a,
Well, either way, I'm gonna change my mind because now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, Tyranids are probably gonna be better because they have the more diverse unit types. So with like Orks, you have your fast attack, and you have very little heavy support.
Whereas the Gorkanaut, the Morkanaut,
those are just two.
That's it.
Yeah, and then where Tyranids have an assortment of monstrous creatures.
Tyranofex, Carnifexes, Termagants.
Flying Hive Tyrants. So yeah, so I think Tyranids are going to be better.
On top of that, you also have the Shadow of the Warp, which is going to mess any Psyker's day up pretty bad. And
as far as what it's looking like, it seems that psychic powers are going to be very, very powerful. And for Orks, all you have is weird boys. But for Tyranids, you have, like you said, a lot more.
Right. Also, if you're talking about psychic, how that's going to be brought up, I think they said psychic powers are now going to do mortal wounds, which, from what I hear, you can't even take invulnerable saves against that. So we'll see what all that's about. But I'm going to go for the Tyranids.
Yeah, Tyranids are going to be better. But collect Orks, because Orks are just a better overall looking. Customization. John Redcorn, he asks, if Dante from Devil May Cry shows up to the war, will he kick ass or be dead? And also, what female... Well, let's answer the Devil May Cry first.
He's going to kick ass.
For a little bit.
Yeah. And
then the Inquisition's going to be like, wait. Your name is Dante... He's bad.
You could just say no, and then he'll live.
You can't lie.
Oh.
And then the next one is, what female character in 40K would you get a lap dance from?
Damn.
I'll choose Muriel Sabathiel. What is that?
Muriel Sabathiel?
Yeah. I'll love to see what that ass do for some bands. So who is that?
I'll let you find out personally.
Okay. So answer the question.
Damn, let me see. Well, first of all, I kind of don't want to answer that question because he said what female, and I don't want to assume gender here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so...
A lot of Slaneshi beings are hermaphrodites.
It's like, you think it's one thing, and then, oh, up in the butt.
And we have to be careful with the whole, what is it, SWK? No, SJW? Social
Justice
warriors out there, because a lot of our viewers are social justice warriors. If you read the comments, they're very up to date on their political correctness.
Warriors, come out and play.
Yeah, so we don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. But if I had to pick, I'd probably say Shadowsun.
I would say Gilliman.
Ooh.
Because he's technically doesn't have a penis. Purge.
That's a movie?
The guy says, considering this is a No, we already answered this in another video.
All right. Dawn of War 234. Why do the salamanders get no love? I mean, no successor chapters that are confirmed. Like, seriously? 10k years and no successors? That's it.
Oh, so why don't they get any love? Because they're awesome all on their own, really.
They're so badass. You don't even need lore for them.
You should ask yourself, why does Blood Angels have so many successor chapters? Because like, if you read the lore of some of the successor chapters of the Blood Angels,
they're really badass. They're better than even the Blood Angels.
Yeah, but then at one point, or at some point, you realize, wait, this is the same one as the last one. The only difference is, like, you know, their color is a different shade of red.
Right. But anyway, going back to the salamanders, they only... Well, it's not confirmed, but you've got the black dragons, and I think there's like fire drakes. Those are successors of the salamanders. And also, there's not a lot of lore on them because I believe what's that guy? The Necron dude captured them, didn't he? Trazian.
Oh, Trazian. He captured some of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch in like his Pokeball.
Basically, yeah. Next question comes from Ryan Hampton. I have heard potential references in the Horus Heresy books to old religions of Earth. So could this mean that the Emperor could have been perceived as such religious figures like Jesus and Moses, etc., maybe even some pagan gods, as his form can always change?
It's a possibility, but seeing how he's really for science and against like religion and being praised as a god, maybe he would have to do that in order to like lead humanity one way, but.
And in the lore, it says that he was silent for most of the time period. So, being the leader of Christianity, like being Jesus, would not be a good way to be quiet and like in the background.
Yeah.
Next question.
Turdy Derp, do you think that the combined forces of all four champions of chaos, Ahriman, Lucius, Karn, and Typhus, would have a chance at killing Robute Guilliman?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think so. Okay, so Guilliman right now has plot armor.
Right.
But...
Alright, say he doesn't have that plot armor in him. Look at him as just a Primarch who can die, and he's got the Emperor's sword.
Yeah, I think he would like get his butt whooped forth because he has 3 chaos, like, no, what are they called? 4 chaos,
gifts.
But they're like super gifted, right? They're not just like your regular chaos Marines. Like these guys are like the top notch, like almost demon primarchs or demon princes. And what took Guilliman down? The sword, right? The tainted sword that cut his neck.
The poison blade, yeah.
Yeah. Just they can get something like that. Ahriman can build some type of sword or gun that hurts him in that same way. Maybe not killing him, but putting him back to sleep.
Yeah, the reason why I think Guilliman's got this is, first of all, they're just regular Marines that have been, you know, enhanced by chaos.
Mm-hmm.
They're not chapter masters, they're not Primarchs, you know, they're nothing above regular Space Marines. Yes, they've been enhanced beyond that, but that's about it. Because I feel like all these 4 guys, they wouldn't be able to take on Dante or like Bjorn or anything like that. Like, yeah, they'll put up a good fight, but I don't think they could do that.
I see that.
I feel like they're strong. Don't get me wrong. They're strong. They're one of the best of the best. But a Primarch is just, you know, in a different league.
Yeah, I see that. I see where you're coming from. Next question comes from Julian Shawakizia. What would be the outcome of Imperial Fists and Rogli Don in defense? Okay, so let me... Okay. What would be the outcome of the Imperial Fist versus the Luna Wolves if, you know, Rogaldorn and Horus were leading them? And as always, please do not butcher my name again. Like, seriously. Sure, Julian Skilscovarson. The Imperial Fist stood up against the Luna Wolves during the Siege of Terra. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty hectic. Yes, they had help from other chapters, but they're pretty evenly matched. You have to remember that the Imperial Fists were supreme enforcers of like sieges and stuff like that. Whereas the Luna Wolves, yeah, they were cool. They were strong, but they weren't as they weren't to the level of the Imperial Fist or the what are the other ones with Hephaestus? With Iron Warriors, yeah. So yeah, Imperial Fist. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Ifid and War. The Chaos Gods can make anything in the warp, at least in their domains, as well as in the Eye of Terror. Could a Chaos God make a world an aspect of another god? For example, Nurgle making a blood-soaked world devoid of infection. By the way, love you guys, and I am a patron.
Thank you, awesome. So to answer that question, yes. But that's something really that I see Tzeentch doing, because that's some trickery type of thing. Whereas like Khorne wouldn't really care to trick anybody. He just wants to slaughter.
Right.
Nurgle just wants to infect you, and Slaanesh is just hanging out.
That's DTF.
Yeah.
So I think it goes counterproductive if they were to go against what they embody, because they wouldn't be gaining anything out of it. Like if you're Khorne, you want to make a murder world. You want fights to happen. You don't want a pleasure planet. Like,
yeah.
What do you get off of that? Nothing.
Next question comes from Lorenzo Reyes. As the Custodes left Terra since failing to protect the Emperor, do you think they would recognize Guilliman as a leader of the Imperium or refuse to leave Terra in shame? Okay, so have they left the Emperor's side? No, because that's their whole purpose is to like protect him. But I will say that during their training, some of them do have to leave Terra to learn about the aspects of other planets and whatnot. But as an organization, no, they don't leave. And they also have assassins, right. But those leave. But then, do you think that they'll recognize Guilliman as a leader? Yeah. They did it before when he was the head of the High Lords of Terra.
Also, Guilliman is also leading. I want to say it's just a small force of Imperial Custodes out, so that's already showing that they do trust in him.
Yep. And then will they refuse to leave Terra as a group? Yeah, or as a whole, yes. But as groups, no. Like you just said.
Yeah. Matthias Niska, do you guys have any tournament claims to fame, painting or playing? It's brag time. Also, when are we gonna see that Orc army, Gershwin?
So, as it turns out, yes, I have a claim to fame. One time, I didn't win a competition or a tournament, but my friend gave me his Tyranid army to paint. It took me 2 years, and it wasn't done. It was like half done.
And that's pretty.
That's my claim to fame.
There you go. Hey, I didn't win any tournaments, but I did get beat by a 7-year-old in my first game at a GW.
Yep. When we leave the warp, man, are we cool?
That's right, man.
We're the coolest of the cool.
Yeah, if you see us with our rompers, our man buns, and our fidget spinners, just watch out. Where we step, it's considered holy ground.
Basically. Oh, and then the Orc army. My Orcs aren't actually painted very well. I've had my Orcs since I started collecting, so back then my modeling skills and my painting skills were horrible. Whereas like today, I have a video up there of my war boss, where it's like a converted war boss, and you can see like, yeah, it looks really nice, but the rest of the army does not look like that. But we are gonna have a video and lore on the the channel army, which is like an Orc Tau combination army. So yeah, next question.
This one's by Ranked. Is it okay to make a Thousand Sons warband that is obviously a part of the traitor forces, but want their Legion and Primarch to be forgiven and to be apart from the Imperium, but their first wish is to put the sword to the wolves? Also, what is the best way to use a Thousand Sons on the tabletop? So basically, you want a loyalist Thousand Son army that wants their Chaos Primarch to be forgiven, but they still want to kill the wolves. That's pretty chaotic, man.
But you know what? I'm going to give you like some plot points. So during the Drop Site Massacre, during the Burning of Prospero. There were some fleets that were outside of Prospero and those had Thousand Sun guys that did not see all the destruction of their planet and were not tainted by chaos because they were not transported into the warp.
Right.
So you could say that the remnants of some of those guys, aside from breaking off and becoming the Blood Ravens, broke off and became your chapter, and now they want to avenge their fallen brothers, but they understand that it's not the Primarch's fault, it was the Space Wolf's fault, but really it's Horus's fault. But you could say that it was the Space Wolf's fault for Horus turning to chaos.
But is it really Horus's fault? Isn't it more Lorgar and his goons?
Yeah.
But again, that's going way back, and it's like, is it really their fault? Wouldn't it be the Emperor's fault for making Space Marines?
But then you would be saying, like, is it really the Emperor's fault, or is it the 1,000 shamans that sacrificed themselves to create the...
And then it's like, is it really those 1,000 shamans who willfully sacrifice themselves, or is it their parents for creating those shamans to do this?
Exactly, and you could just keep going back and back, and at the end, we all know it's Guilford Godfrey. Yeah, it's his fault.
It's always him.
Damn you, Guilford Godfrey. The Fallows. Is there any chance that Leman Russ comes back to kill Magnus the Red in his hunt? For him after the Horus Heresy?
He better. Like, that was like the main thing of their, their rivalries. They're gunning for each other. You got Tupac and Biggie. Who's the best?
They both died at the end.
Yeah. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it happens though. Sooner than later.
Later than sooner.
Next question.
Could Captain Boreal and Diomedes beat back Abaddon with steel rain and flying bane blades? Alec Adaglo. No.
Okay.
No one can beat Abaddon. He's got that thing that Gilliman has. Plot armor.
Danny Rokes. What do you know and what do you think of the upcoming Lord Inquisitor Seed of Ambition film? Keep up the good work. We know very little. As a matter of fact, what we should do is we should try to get in contact with that guy or that group. No, I think it's a guy, right? That's why it's taking so long.
I believe so. No, because I think at the end of the that little teaser he did, there's a whole bunch of people working on it.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah, I mean, all we know is probably as much as you know that he's creating it. It's taking him a while because he's independent, and the actual teaser trailer and the trailer itself are amazing. They look amazing.
Yeah. High quality stuff.
Yeah, so we think they're amazing. Maybe we'll get in contact with them and do like an interview or something.
Alexander Thomas. Pretty much everybody has a name in 40K, even the gods. So what is the Emperor's name? His name's Jeff.
Yeah. That's his name. No, he has no name. He is nameless.
The Nameless Samurai.
Josh Eckroth. Unless you have anything else to add.
No.
I plan on building oh, nope, we already read that. Can the Holy Emperor control the weather on Terra? If there is any after all those years. Thanks for the vids. Great work. There's no more atmosphere, at least not the way that we see it. Terra itself is a hive planet. Everything is artificial. Yeah, there's no weather.
Yeah, it's like, how do I put it? There is so much, epicness that transpired, battles, the Age of Strife and all that. Terra, as we know it, is so much different than Earth. That's why it's called Terra. Think of it as like a completely different planet, so.
Yep. And those were the questions for this week. Thank you guys so much for sending those questions our way. And yeah,
keep on liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and check us out on all our social media sites. We got more epic 40K content for you. Keep on asking those questions, guys, whether it be about Warhammer or your Aunt Sally. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
We're One Line Syndicate, and we are out of here.
I know you, I walked with you once upon